final. Geelong West had as many scoring shots as the Premiership favourites Preston last Sunday, but they lost by 35 points. After 9 straight wins, Geelong looked world beaters at the start of the season, but with Frankston charging home, coach Josh Kendall believes it's his team that's had the ideal preparation.
I made the comment probably back after the Port Melbourne game when we'd made it, that I think that we've come into the final series in an ideal way, in having to play the semi and then having a week's break and hopefully, of course, 2 weeks in a row.
You had a chance to see Geelong West last Sunday. What was your impression?
Probably on the day I felt that Geelong West were the better side, but they didn't win the game. They've got a lot of players that are good footballers, and they obviously have got a lot of pride, and the thing that I think that'll be a danger to us is that these sort of guys will be wanting to come back pretty hard this week, and we've got to be able to match that.
Back to football, and while the VFL has taken the spotlight on both the Saturday and Sunday of the past 2 weekends, the rags to riches story of the Frankston Football Club has created a great deal of interest in the VFA. Frankston, who weren't even in the association 18 years ago, this Sunday play off against Preston in the grand final. Peter Mitchell again.
It really has been an incredible past 3 months for the Dolphins. They won their 7th game in a row against Port Melbourne in the last round of the season to sneak into the finals. Then their captain Peter Geddes became Frankston's first ever winner of the Liston Trophy. The following week they eliminated Camberwell in the first semi-final, and then last Sunday made the grand final by beating Geelong West. Now all of Frankston is hoping their team can make it 10 in a row against Preston this Sunday and achieve what earlier this year looked impossible. At VFA House in Jollymont today, Dolphins coach Graham Kendall popped in to take a look at the Premiership Cup. It's something he'd love to be clutching at 5 o'clock this Sunday afternoon.
Is it a bit of a fairy tale that you've been able to make the grand final?
A lot of people would probably feel that has been the case, but there has been a bit of a buzz around the place over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and of course the grand final would top it off for us.
Could be the stepping stone for a VFL coaching career for one of the coaches. Preston's Ray Shaw will be hoping to win back-to-back premierships when his team takes on Frankston at the Junction Oval. Preston go into Sunday's grand final as overwhelming favourites to win back-to-back premierships. After a slow start this season, the Bull Ants have won their last 14 matches. They qualify for the final with a comfortable win over Geelong West. Frankston is also in great form with a run of 9 wins in succession. And after watching the Dolphins in action last week, Shaw believes it will be a tough final to win.
They impressed me, they played very well, but I think you've got to have a look at the opposition, the way they played, and I didn't think Geelong West played as well as they could, plus they had about 5 players out.
It's been a lot of rain in Melbourne this week. The grounds are obviously heavier. Has that been a setback to you in your training program?
No, we've gone about training the same way. You know, we train Monday, Thursday and Friday all the time. Trained Sunday morning last week at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you know, we've had Mickey Malthouse out to train us, and he gave us a very hard night. So you know, we're going about it the same fashion we have all year, and I'm sure that the week's rest is going to do us a world of good. Plus, I think the wet weather's probably going to help us too.
Would have captured the imagination of the football public with their successes in the VFL final so far. So too, VFA side Frankston. The Dolphins have won their last 9 games to qualify for their first ever VFA grand final, and they're confident they can prevent Preston making it 2 flags in succession.
Last Sunday, Frankston upset the well-fancied Geelong West combination in the preliminary final, an amazing result as they'd won only 5 of their first 11 games. Their coach is the almost unknown Graham Kendall, who stepped into the shoes vacated by Mike Patterson. He believes the Dolphins can take out their first flag in First Division.
We're quite confident that we can go in and give an excellent showing of ourselves. We've proved that we can play under the pressure of finals, and that was probably a little bit of a danger that we had leading into the final series, but we've got over those jitters now.
Preston coach and former Liston Trophy winner Ray Shaw, however, believes the game will be very tough. He says the Bull Ants can make it 2 in succession.
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough game because of the weather, Peter. You know, we're looking forward to it, and I know Frankston are, because they've really come up surprisingly well, and watching them last week, they were very impressive against Geelong West, so I think it's going to be a pretty tough game.